2018 Garageband. So when you first get in here, what you want to do is create an empty project. Just click this first option. The initial window might pop up saying just continue. So we're going to hit choose, and it's going to open up our track type. So a track is basically like one instrument or a voiceover or whatever. So we're just going to hit software instrument, hit create. So you do have a built-in piano that you can play. You can also switch it to the mode where the keys on your keyboard would function as well. So, which is this one. So I can play on my actual keyboard. I'm going to exit that. I don't need that. If you need to get that back, you can go to View and then to Window and then Show Keyboard. The other thing I'm going to do is just close down this viewing option here. If anything else is open, these are just kind of windows that you can use to edit. And then the other thing I like to do is just set up my track up here with time. So I go to this arrow and I go to drop down to time. Now we're going to go over to the right side here. We're going to click on this ribbon, which is our loops. So what our loops are is basic sounds that have been pre-created. So if I click on one, you can hear it play. Clicking on it again, it turns off. If I click on another one, I can also just use my arrows to go down the list here. All right. Now, say I want to search for specific instruments. I'm going to go into click on instrument up here, and then say I want drums. So I'm going to click on all drums. See, I have different a bunch of different kinds of pop up. These are all pre-made drum beats. I can also go to genre and pick a certain style. So if I wanted, say, electronic, then I have a different sound than I would, if I clicked off of electronic and went to house, I would have different, kinds of beats. So let's go ahead and pick one. I'm going to drag it over, and I'm actually going to just create a new track. So I can't use this existing one. I'm just going to create a new track and pull it over to the left. Now, when I'm on a new track, if I make something, what you'll see is you have two options. You have this rolling option at the top right, and then you have this drag option at the bottom right. The drag is going to allow you to shorten a clip or trim it. So I'm just dropping it down so I don't have that whole clip anymore. The top one allows me to roll out this existing clip right here. That loop I can just keep reusing. Now, say I went and I shrunk that initial one. Notice what it's doing now is all of those, that's shrunk, but all the other ones that I looped out are also shrunk. So now if I go up here and I can either hit play or spacebar to play my song, you can hear my beat just keep playing. Okay, but we're going to get some more things going here. So I'm going to go ahead I'm going to click on out of house. I'm going to click on drums and get out of drums. And now I want maybe some synth. So I'm going to click on synth and let's see what we have. All right, I want to go to genre too. And let's say, all right, I want electronic. All right, I kind of like this one, just as like a start. So I'm going to drag that one in, and I'll drag this one to play at the start too. And let's go ahead and drag that out. Let's see what this sounds like. All right, not bad. Now, one thing I can do is I can also move tracks. So say I wanted this to start, but not hear the other, track at the beginning. I can just drag it over. All right, you can see how that kind of is starting to build on top of one another. Another thing I can do is if I click on a track, you also see I have this thing up here, which is our ShowHide Animation. You won't have that unless you hit the letter A first. And what that does is it pulls up essentially your keyframing for different assets and different parts of your songs and your audio tracks. So I'm going to go to Volume, and on this one, I'm going to actually have this one fade in. So you see this line here. What I can do is click points on there to create essentially points that I'm going to say, all right, this point I want it to be very low volume, and there it's going to be high. So now when I play, you didn't hear my beat come in, so it doesn't start in there instantly. All right, let's go back, and I'm going to get maybe a couple more sounds real quick. So let's go back. Let's go instrument. Let's go shaker. All right, and I'll pull one of these in. See how that kind of plays in there, and maybe I'll roll this out a little bit too. Oops, hit my letter A again. A just closes up that timeline, and then I can go back and re-edit. So if you're having troubles getting, after you've keyframed something, hit it again, and you go back to your edit mode, and you can keep pulling your tracks out. And these can go for as long as you really need to. You can see I can zoom in on my track, and you can see the waveforms there really tight, or I can zoom out. I can see more. The reason I like the time is because I think in terms of time, in terms of when a song's gonna end or how long I need a track to be. From here, let's see what this sounds like. All right, now you also have this beat going in the background. I'm going to turn this off, that 1, 2, 3, 4. That just had like an extra little beat going, so you can turn on your metronome and stuff. All right, and so there we go. And what you want to do is just kind of mess around, creating different tracks over here. You can also duplicate tracks, so if you wanted one to be a little bit more powerful sounding. So right now, this is what it sounds like. I can also option click and drag to duplicate a track, and now this should sound a little more powerful. Same track being used, but just double the sound, so it's a little bit more amplified. So yeah, and then hitting A, I can go in and keyframe, say I wanted maybe this beat to be just generally quieter, and see what that kind of sounds like. Hit my A again. All right, and then once I have a track and I like it and it's done, I can go to share, and I can go export sound to disk. And I'm going to send it out as an MP3, send it to my desktop, and just hit export. And that's it.